So the Louvre is based on the Park Slope Food Co-op in New York, which is what we call what in English we call a worker member co-op. In French, we say kind of a participative co-op. So there are two parts. The cooperative part comes from this tradition of consumer co-ops. It's just this simple idea that the people who shop at the structure are the owners of the structure, and only that. So if you don't own part of the Louvre, you can't shop here. We add this participative part that kind of came up in the 60s and 70s, and what that means concretely is that all of those owners of the store who are physically able to do it have to come 3 hours every 4 weeks, and they have to participate. They have to help run the shop. And so they do most of the things that you see in a supermarket. Then the other thing that participative part adds is that because we have fewer employees than a normal supermarket. We have 10 employees here. For the volumes that we have, we would probably normally have about 30 or 35 employees. And so our expenses are lower. And so what we do is we give that back to the members by having extremely low prices. We don't like the word anti-capitalist because it makes us feel like kids, like we're against our parents or something like that, but we are a capitalist. We don't want to be a complement to the existing system. We want to replace it. And if you do that, you have to be public-oriented, not club-oriented. To make deeper that sense of ownership of the store by having people participate. And it's true, it works. It's so obvious that that works. So Park Slope is quite amazing because they succeeded. And they succeeded because they said, look, okay, we're going to set up rules where if you don't work, you don't shop. It's not immediately, but it takes some time. But if you don't work, you don't shop, because that's fair. That's the thing that attracted me to Park Slope, is I walked in and it was a marketing-free commerce, and that I had never seen that really. I never heard of it, but I discovered it because I had friends who were members, and I thought, this is totally fantastic. I was already living in Paris, and so was a friend of mine, Brian, and so we said, let's try to do that here. And then we opened up in 2016. The little things that spring up around the co-op, cooking classes and stuff like that naturally do that, to be a resource that gives as far as food goes, instead of something that takes. Capitalist supermarkets take. We take as a model public libraries. We think that supermarkets should be the public libraries of food of neighborhoods. And so what we have is people believe in what we do, but then also just on the things that supermarkets are supposed to do, we do it better than the other supermarkets. The food is better, the quality is better, and the prices are lower. The anecdote that they give is that one night there was a free Paul Simon concert in Central Park, and nobody showed up to work. At the beginning, when you start a project like this, for a few years, the project will work no matter how bad you do it, because people are enthusiastic about the idea. But the way you try to build it, the strength you try to build into it, is what happens when it becomes banal for people, when it becomes just they still like it, they still like their co-op, but it's not like, oh wow, I'm here for the first time. The more we delegate real responsibility to the members, the more this really becomes not the co-op of the employees, but the co-op of the members. Since the beginning of civilization, the marketplace is the #1 social place in society, period. We have a really similar culture to Park Slope in terms of how the people get along together and stuff like that, and we didn't do anything to promote that. I think it's a universal thing that happens because we're missing this social space that's been taken out of society, basically. Because if you open up a supermarket like this and it's only organic and ethical products in one way or another, which we have lots of, and we are for those kind of products, what happens is, who comes to your supermarket are the people who already eat that stuff, and what does that change? I mean, it's nice for those people, great, but it's as we say, it's not political. Be honest about the mixed good and bad stuff that really happens. Like, we do the least amount of waste as possible, but it's not zero waste, and that's refreshing to have that. We find to have that kind of objectivity and honesty about kind of stuff, because you don't want false promises. What we know is that we are pretty sure, we even said, that we'll have low prices on good food, and we do.